Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free. And it's 100% ridiculously easy to use. We find it really convenient for Night Moves Radio and our Cloverleaf Radio network. We record when it's best for us, and best of all, we can record on the go or at home. With this easy app, it makes doing our show so much fun and very easy. Anyone wanting to start a podcast? I suggest using Anchor. Perhaps it'd be a great starting point for you. Welcome to another episode from the JIA network. Tonight we've got Josh, Ian, and Ariana once again for you to listen to, and I guess we're going to talk more about our...
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, we're going to listen. And
After that.
We're going to talk more about our childhood memories and maybe things that we may have that's been passed on. And as I'm thinking about this now, it can be things that have been passed on maybe physically or genetically or even mentally. There we go.
That sounds horrible. Like rickets or something?
Well, I'm thinking because you guys are talking about things that our loved ones left behind for us.
Oh, right, I get you.
So things that have been passed on.
Yeah, so, but see if you can maybe not just physically, but genetically, like artists and stuff, and writing.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, so I just kind of thought about that off the top of my head as I was doing the intro.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Yeah, I get paid lots of money. I'm rich. So, yeah. Ian had a really cool check that he showed us, and maybe he can talk more about that.
I thought you were starting.
Nope, this is the intro, now I'm passing it on to you.
Gosh.
She did just to aggravate you.
No, not really. Yeah, so, 2017 probably, I went into this abandoned house in Humboldt, which is the small, crappy little corn-fed town I live outside of. And went upstairs and found this big plastic tote thing full of stuff from like the 20s, 30s, like old sheet music, old canceled checks, books, and all sorts of stuff. And in this large stack of checks from the 20s, I found a check that was wrote to my grandfather's great uncle. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
To have something from 1926, like, that wasn't already in the family, to just kind of stumble upon something like that was pretty cool.
That's not always that you just stumble upon something like that looking through things.
No.
What was really cool is, like, obviously I was neat holding something from that long ago, but the check was written for $3.06, which would have been, or 8 cents, something like that. But it would have been a lot of money back then.
Yeah, 8 cents.
Yeah. So, nowadays that's like nothing. But back then, you had to write a check for $3.08.
Probably like $300.
Yeah, so it was
20s.
Yeah, so it was probably like a lot.
Especially getting close to, you think, like the 30s with the Great Depression, and money just was not good for people. Like, just kind of a lot like today, just with different circumstances.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad things going on with the economy now. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Let's not go there right now.
Yeah.
Just make ourselves
That
depressed.
just made me sleepy. You said can of worms, and I yawned.
What about worms make you sleepy?
No, I just meant I knew what she was talking about. Just the thought of it just freaking
I
exhausting.
thought you were saying worms make you sleepy.
No.
They do, but only when I put them in my underwear.
Ew. All right. We'll let no one know tonight, but Ian just said he puts worms in his underwear.
See, I might not have heard it, but now that you're repeating.
Is that some kind of fetish you have?
Well, if people pay enough.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm getting way off topic.
Joshy, what do you got?
Well, you mean as an heirloom kind of thing?
Heirloom, it could be physical or genetic or whatever.
Well, I have physical and genetic. My grandpa gave me this well, when he died, I got his pocket watch, and it's pretty cool. It's an old-fashioned, pocket watch, and he got it on, I think, one of his wedding anniversaries with my grandma. And yeah, it needs to be fixed. It can't run, but it's a nice little piece. I mean, it's really looks nice. But and then genetically, I'd say from my uncle, who sadly has also passed on. My uncle has a great interest in history, and he had a great interest in history, and I got that from him. I got really interested in history. I really was from the very beginning, but he might have had some influence in that too. So yeah.
Very cool. I've seen the pocket watch. It is very neat.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have a really old Bible here in our living room?
Yes, I do. Oh, how could I forget that? The family Bible. Yeah.
It's from like the 1800s?
Yeah, it's like from 1860 something, and it's like you can look at it again if you want to. You can pick it up and look at it.
Oh, I see that here all the time.
Yeah. It's like it looks like an ancient tome from way back. Like it's huge, and it's got like illustrations.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
And like it's really old, but it's well preserved, very well.
Yeah, you could beat the poltergeist out of someone with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like if we get a chance, we can take some pictures of some of this physical stuff and share it on the JIA Facebook page of this old stuff that we have.
Yeah.
And share it to go along with
William Wesley Annis, Family Bible, 1890. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
1890. Okay, so I was a couple days.
Oh, you just flipped the 6 or a 9. No biggie.
The Holy Scriptures for their various and matchless excellences. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's got pictures in it too, I think, don't it?
Huh?
Does it have pictures and stuff in it?
A lot of illustrations.
Yeah, a lot of illustrations.
Modern Jerusalem.
Yeah, it's really awesome because I know that was one thing you were asking your parents about was the family Bible, right?
Yeah.
You were
it's like a dictionary in the front. That's really neat.
Yeah, it's awesome. Wow. So we have that sitting on our living room table all the time. So we got that, and then of course I have my own little Bible on the table, but it's not old. It's the most recent one I bought for myself.
Also got Thundar the Barbarian on DVD.
Yeah, that's Josh's.
That's not from 1890.
No.
Equally old.
Yeah. So, yeah. Stuff that I have. So, there's a story. There's a painting that my grandma, June Brandon Cherry, painted. I asked her for she was wanting to give me a high school graduation present. She said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want you to paint me a painting." And she asked me what I wanted to paint of, and I said, like, a sunset with over the ocean with palm trees, back when I used to like palm trees until I saw what they really look like, and I don't like them anymore. But still. But it's a very nice painting. It's very cool. But the thing is, I didn't get it until a lot years later. I ended up getting it as a Christmas present, I think, about 5 years later. My Aunt Sissy made the frame that went around it, and my grandma signed it. And she used to paint along to Bob Ross. She was a very good artist. She was a very good writer. She would show me a lot of the stuff that she wrote. She used to kind of go out and about. She'd sit in the car, and she'd observe people and watch people and make stories about them. And she was real thoughtful, kind of like I was, thinking a lot about life and writing a lot of poems about life. So my grandma also wrote poetry. And grandma the Cherry side of the family kind of passed that genetic trait on to some of us kids. And I like to think that I've got some of that artistic trait as well as the writing. So while she passed on this painting that I finally got years later, and I also have the talent of art and writing. So, which is kind of cool. And every once in a while, you can sit. I like watching Bob Ross because he's so calming. We were watching it yesterday. So, but I think it's neat. I like to picture my grandma. She was all set up with her little easel and her painting, and she'd just be painting along with him. And then before she got really sick, she got this long piece of white paper, and we laid it down in her kitchen. And instead of using oils, because they're much more expensive and they take longer to dry, we got some acrylic paints out. And I remember her and I sat and we painted nothing but trees on the long piece of white paper. She was going to give me painting lessons, and so we started out with trees, but then she got really sick. Yeah, so she passed away in 2009.
So what happened to it?
The painting?
Yeah.
I still have it. I got to hang it up, but the frame is a little broken, so I got to get it glued back together with wood glue. It's been through a lot of moves. But I'm going to hang it in my office. So.
What happened to the big piece of paper that?
I don't know what she did with that piece of paper.
That'd be neat to have.
Yeah, because we were doing trees on it. It was fun. So.
I feel like I didn't say anything like genetically.
Oh, if you have something, you can say something.
Well, I was thinking, like, my grandpa was really skilled at just creating things. He took machinery classes at Tuscola and invented what I'm sure, the original, before whoever else decided to come up with basically the same thing. What their belly mowers, like the Amish use, those huge push mowers.
Oh, yeah.
My grandpa made something a lot like that, but never got it patented.
Mm.
So he was pretty efficient at making stuff. And my grandma's brother, Ross, he studied, he was a art teacher at some Indiana university. He was a really good painter, and he made stuff like took random parts of machines, like I think he did like a part of an old coffee maker and random stuff, and made like a tiny not like a tractor but like a steam engine. It was a little tiny steam engine just out of like little random parts. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, I do like do little art, and still I don't really call it art, but those little paint pictures I do, and then like just other stuff I feel creative about. Kind of feel like maybe I got that from them.
That's cool.
And then my dad's side of the family, I seem to have like these lines in my face when I smile. They're real prevalent, and I have a picture of my grandpa, and it has like the same exact line. So that made me think of something like physical that I inherited was some goofy lines when I smiled.
Oh, you talk about physical, then I guess you can say I inherited the cherry forehead. Seriously, we all have it. Like a lot of us, like my dad's kind of got one, and I did, and our little, my little niece Blair, not Blair doesn't have as much, but McKinley, she's got that little cherry forehead going on, and that's just something we kind of call. And
you got a peach pit in there somewhere?
I don't know.
A peach pit. I guess it wouldn't be a peach pit; it'd be a cherry pit. Peach pit and a cherry forehead would not.
Yeah, my dad used to have this saying. Oh my god! And I think I don't know where he got it, but my poor brother. It took him a while to grow in his head when he was a baby, so it looked like he had a big head. So my dad, he'd like push his hands back and his hair back on his forehead, and be like, "Look at the hair on that one." So, Dad was just joking. He wasn't being mean. Yeah, Dad would do stuff like that. But, we call it the cherry forehead. Yay, that's what I got. Huh?
The CFH.
Yeah. Huh. So that's probably what genetically I inherited in physical traits. Did Josh have any physical genetic traits?
You mean that my parents have?
Not my parents.
You get your grandma's long glowing locks. Is that where you get?
Yeah, your nice flowy. Oh, you know what Josh has? He has these long, pretty little eyelashes.
Oh yeah.
That any women would die for. And it's not fair.
And he's got hair like a glam rocker.
Yeah, but I don't know if you got those from any of your family.
Think so. I don't.
He just got lucky. So yeah.
What was that you said? Eyelashes any woman would die for?
Yes.
Damn, Josh.
They're nice and full and long. I got to make mine look long by putting mascara on them to plump them up. Hello.
I have a